With that being said, are you ready? I'm going to turn it over to Phil Verska.
Attention! The audience, please stand. Present, march. Forward, march. The colors. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
order, arms. Color guard, dismissed.
Please be seated. Pledge of Allegiance was led by Dune McCartney. We will now have an invocation by Chaplain Randy Belton, U.S. Marine.
Good morning. Glad you all can join us on this Veterans Day. Before I lead us in prayer, there's a couple of things that I just want to offer you. As you came in, if you're not familiar with it, you saw the table outside the auditorium. That is Missing in Action Prisoner of War table. We set a place for our MIAs and our POWs when we remember every year for those individuals that have not yet been brought home. Last time I did the research on that, there were over 1,500. I would also like to offer you writing, basically a quote that was written by Father Dennis Edward O'Brien. He was a chaplain in the United States Marine Corps. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the organizer, who gave us the freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and some of those whose coffins were draped by the flag, who offers the protester or allows the protester to burn the flag. With respect, honor, and gratitude, thank you, veterans. Let us pray. Dear Lord, today we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave and give their best when they were called upon by their country. We pray that you will bless them, Lord, for their unselfish service to preserve our country's heritage for all of us. We ask that you bless them and their families abundantly for the sacrifices they made, for the many contributions to America's victories and freedoms. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them, we are proud of them, and we pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with peace and happiness. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Belton. And thank you, Captain Phil Verska and your students for presenting the colors today, this morning, and thank you for setting up the POW table, the empty chair, the inverted glass to remind us that they are not with us. Okay. Students, staff, community members, friends, I'd like you for a moment, close your eyes. Imagine that you are in a trench. It has been cold and raining. The trenches are now filled with mud. There are shots being fired. Artillery rounds are soon heard overhead. They scream to the earth, and they burst all around you. You cling to Mother Earth before the next round hits, for the next round may be yours. The mud has now turned and filled with blood. Open your eyes. The year is 1918. This was the unimaginable horror felt by millions of soldiers during World War I, also known as the Great War. There were over 70 men from Pinedale in the Upper Green that answered the call to serve during that war. A picture of these men can be found in the Pinedale Public Library. I strongly recommend and urge that you to take a look at it. On the 11th day, the 11th month, and the 11th hour, all hostilities ceased in the Great War. All shooting stopped. All guns fell silent. The killing was over. We have a moment of silence for that. The war ended with an armistice, an agreement in which both sides agreed to stop the fighting rather than a surrender. For both sides, an armistice was the fastest way to end the war's misery and carnage. The armistice was signed on November 11th. Veterans Day started as a day to reflect upon the heroism of those who died in our country's service and was originally called Armistice Day. However, in 1954, the holiday was changed to Veterans Day in order to account for all veterans and for all wars. Today, we celebrate and honor America's veterans for their patriotism, for their love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. Today, we honor all veterans, both living and the dead. They fought for us so that we may, all of us as Americans, remain free. From the Revolutionary War to the present, all gave some gave all. They were willing to do this for their God, for their families, for their country, for all of us. Would the veterans please stand and be recognized? Please remain standing, and in honor of your families who also had an untold sacrifice. They may not have joined the services, but they stood by the men and women in uniform. Would their members of their family please rise? These are the wives and the mothers, the daughters, the sons. Wow. Beautiful. Big hand. Thank you. You may be seated. We will now have a song by the Pinedale High School Choir. One of my favorites, America the Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Very, very beautiful. Well done, well done. So our keynote speaker today, we'll let the choir. I guess I was getting a little bit ahead of myself, but another big round of applause for the Pinedale High School Choir. Thank you. Our keynote speaker today, we are really, truly blessed, I feel, to have one of our own. So, Hank Ruland of Pinedale, Wyoming. He grew up here. He went to high school, graduated from Pinedale High School, correct?
That's correct.
That is correct. And he was in law enforcement for over 35 years. And he was a county sheriff for, I believe, more than 20 years. Also correct. Okay. And really one of our local legends. He was also in the U.S. Army. And he's going to speak to us a little bit about that today. So with no further ado, Hank Williams. Yeah, Hank Ruland. Sorry.
No, I don't sing.
Hank Williams, the country singer.
There you go, yeah. Well, welcome students and faculty and fellow veterans and guests. It's good to see all that choir. They do a good job. All of them are doing a good job. A veteran is someone who at one point in their life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. That's heavy stuff, you know. You go in, you take the oath, you go in, you swear to uphold the laws of the land through being a soldier and to protect the country against enemies, foreign and domestic. I graduated from Pinedale High School here in 1965. Go PHS. In 1965, when I graduated, there were two things on boys' minds, not girls because they didn't get drafted, but number one was the draft. Am I going to get drafted? Are they going to send me to Vietnam? Am I going to come home in a body bag? You know, all that stuff goes through your mind. I chose to go to college for a while, but I decided that just wasn't my cup of tea. So I let them draft me. And I was drafted in the U.S. Army in 1969 and served through 1971. I was, the day that you graduated from basic combat training, you went up to a little board and you looked at your name. And if you was going to AIT, Advanced Infantry School, you were going to Vietnam. My name came up where I was going to go into Army Intelligence and Computers. So I was shipped overseas to Korea, which at the time, there was never an armistice signed with Korea, so it was kind of a sort of a combat zone. I served over there and then came back and kicked around for a while and then decided to go into law enforcement, which I did for many, many years. And I'm a proud veteran and a proud ex-cop, and life goes on. Now, Veterans Day differs from Memorial Day in that Memorial Day is the last Monday of the month of May, and we honor those that have fallen or have given their lives. Now, that could be in combat, or it could be in coming home from combat and dying because of severe chemicals that you inhaled or ingested while you were overseas in a duty zone. But we honor them because they gave their life for this country. I mean, that's a big give up, giving your life. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. But these guys did that, and because of that, we sit here today and we speak English as our primary language. We have the freedom of speech, although sometimes it gets a little out of hand, but we do have the freedom of speech. We have the freedom to defend yourself with armor, if you prefer. But it's just, we honor those veterans that have given their lives. But everybody that has served honorably is a veteran. Men, women, all people that are associated with it, they're all veterans, and we honor them today. We show gratitude to our veterans today. and tomorrow and the next day, because they did give us the life that we leave here. Yeah, it's got some holes in it, but it's a good life, and better living here in safety and security of the United States and than a third world country where your life is sometimes meaningless. I wish you all a meaningful Veterans Day. And down in the American Legion Park, there's a whole bunch of granite slabs down there, and I'm sure most of you have seen those. But that are etched on there the names of the people who have served their military commitments from this community. And there's a lot of names on there. And it wouldn't hurt sometime to just go down and look at those names and just think about what they had to go through so I can sit here and eat lunch in peace today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate those words. Thank you very much, Mr. Rulin. We will now, we're about to have the girls' state speakers come up. I wanted to speak just a moment about that. Strong leadership. It is what is needed for the future of our country. We need those that understand their history well, that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. We need those that have the courage to stand by their beliefs and not waver. We need those who study and educate themselves about our political structure. For in the words of one of our founders, Thomas Jefferson, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. In other words, you cannot be ignorant and free. I commend these students that I'm about to introduce for attending the Girls' State and look to them as future leaders. I'm proud of them. I believe our nation has a bright future. Thank you for taking this step in your own personal growth and development. Thank you for taking this step for us, for you are our future leaders. I would greatly encourage others to do the same. And speaking of which, we have some of our community leaders that are here present today. Dave Stevens, he's one of our county commissioners. He's with us today. And Joel Bozeman and his wife, he's a former veteran, and he's here. Just wanted to point that out. So we'll go ahead and get started with the girls' state speeches. And I believe we begin with Alice Hayward. Is that right? Okay. Would you please come up, please?
Hello, everyone. Many of you already know me, but for those of you that don't, my name's Allie Hayward. This past summer, I had the opportunity to attend the 84th session of Girls' State. Girls' State was an unbelievable experience, from newly found friendships to all the new things I learned about how our government runs. If not for this opportunity, I would not have obtained the knowledge I now have about how our state government runs and how the legislative process actually works. Going to Girls' State, I didn't really have any expectations about this week. While there was an explanation given, and I had listened to speeches given by past Girls' Staters, I didn't really understand it, but I'll try my best to explain to you what I experienced. On the first day we got there, we separated into groups called cities, and this is the group we would be with throughout the entire week, before breaking out into our different sessions. I was put into the best city, Bison, and in our city we got voted into offices to help run our city. I was voted to be our city's fire chief. Through this role, I found out what the fire chief actually does for their city. On the next day, we split into our different sessions and started to learn how the government works. I was in the Senate, so our work was focused on what the Senate does. Through being in the Senate, we got to learn how to pass bills throughout the Senate. And we got to pass our own bills that we made, which was a really cool thing to do and learn about. These sessions helped me to learn more about and understand our government better. Another part of Girls' State that I loved was journalism. And in journalism, I got to learn how people use their voice and how we as teens can voice our thoughts, but also stay objective. Through journalism, each night we got to present the nightly news. A new friend, Caitlin, and I got to do it twice throughout the week, once presenting the weather and another hosting the nightly news. There are many things in my future from Girl State that I will take back. Two of them mainly. First, my ability to public speak. I've never really struggled with public speaking, but through this experience, it has helped me to become more comfortable while doing so. Lastly, the friendships. When I first got to Girl State, I didn't know how close I would get with some of these girls, but turns out 1 week with about 100 girls can get you pretty close to each other. I will forever be thankful for this experience and the friendships that I now obtain. Girl State was an unforgettable experience, from folding flags in the pouring rain during a lightning storm with our city, to winning our patriotic presentation, to passing bills through the Senate. If I had the choice whether or not to go, I'd pick go. This experience has truly helped me and changed me for the good. I will continue to take the things that I have learned from Girl State into my future. So thank you, Girl State, for everything. So I highly recommend you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie. Just go. I agree with that. Okay, so our next, Miranda Bausman.
Hi, my name is Miranda Bausman. I am a senior at Skyline Academy. This past summer, I had the opportunity of going to Wyoming Girl State, and I would like to thank the American Legion for sponsoring me for going on this trip. It was an opportunity for young women like myself had a part in shaping our future. Throughout the week, we got to step into the shoes of leaders, lawmakers, and citizens. And I almost literally stepped into Senator Brass's shoes backstage by accident, but his security guards were a little bit scary. But there's the whole thing, but it's all good. So I was one of the top delegates based on my performance during the mock trials during our court sessions. During one of the top court delegates, we had a chance to be witnesses, lawyers, attorneys, and judges, and it was really, really fun. It was definitely not what I was what I was expecting, so it gave me a little bit of run for my money. Each Girl State delegate had a chance to write their very own bill. Mine was focused on establishing and affirming the rights and privileges associated with adulthood shall be granted at ages of 18. It was challenging, but it pushed me to think deeply about policy, responsibility, and how laws affect people's lives. One of the highlights of the week was meeting Governor Gordon. Each of us Girl State delegates had a chance to talk to Governor Gordon and ask him a question. Of course, Girl State wasn't all fun and games, or all business, sorry. Some of my favorite memories was having a fashion show down our dorm hallways. I got to make so many new friends, and these friendships I know for a fact will last beyond that week. Wyoming Girl State was truly an experience that I will never forget. It gave me hands-on experience of how our state government runs, and it shows me the power of civic engagement, leadership, teamwork, and I left with new confidence, new friends, and a renowned passion of making a difference. Some say that Wyoming is a small town with a big, long highway. I encourage each and every young woman to apply to Girl State this summer of your junior year, because it is something that will definitely change your life, because I had no idea the experience that I gained over the summer. Thank you.
It's a great speech. Thank you. Thank you, Miranda. And I believe we have one more. Arnie, did I pronounce that correctly? No? Last name? Okay. So, is it Arnie? Bryn. Bryn. Okay. Thank you, Bryn.
Yes, thank you so much.
You bet.
Hello, my name is Bryn Arney. This June, I had the incredible honor, alongside Alice Hayward and Miranda Bausman, of attending the 84th Wyoming Girls State Session this year at Laramie County Community College. It was an unforgettable week filled with learning about government, civic duty, flag code, and what it means to be in a community. From the moment I got there, it was go, go, go. You met up with your city, mine was Cottonwood, and got started. You elected city officials and assigned duties. I was elected to be on city council, which meant that I helped make decisions within my city. What stood out to me from the moment I got there and got with my city was how much each girl wanted to help. Along with being in a city, each delegate was assigned to either serve in the House of Representatives, the Senate, or the courts. I was placed in courts, which meant leaping into a thick packet of cases. I think it was around 300 pages, and making highlights, studying each case, and learning how to play the roles of judge, witness, and defense or prosecutive attorney. I, for example, learned many objections like violation of best evidence rules, which means that unless the original piece of evidence is unattainable for an attorney to use, the party must use the original evidence. Let me tell you, it was truly a crash course into true and real courtroom rules and procedures. Throughout the week, we also learned about flag code, where we don't walk between the flags on a stage, and the full election process. We each ran for a political office as well. I ran for Secretary of State, and while I was not elected for this position, I was honored to be appointed by our 2024 Wyoming Girls State Governor, Aspen Sewell, as County Assessor. Girls State taught me about community, leadership, service, patriotism, and pride for our great nation. I was proud to be a part of the outstanding city, to earn a scholarship as an alternate to Sheridan College, and to see how amazing our state of Wyoming and our country truly is. I would like to thank the American Legion Auxiliary Phillips Edwards Post 47 for sponsoring my Girls State experience. Without your help, none of this would be possible. A special thanks to Mary Langford and Wendy Noble for your guidance and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely would encourage you this year to apply for Girls State. And the boys, I'd like to see the boys apply for Boys State. So, okay, so next we have some awards and recognition. Today I have 3 awards, so I need to get my nuclear codes. One of our veterans was teasing me about this briefcase having nuclear codes. That would have been Dave Bauman. Would you please stand? So, Dave Bauman, he was an Air Force missileer. That was over in Warren Air Force Base, wasn't it? It was. So we're very proud of him. You were how long would it take one of those missiles to reach you in the event of a
30 minutes anywhere in the world.
30 minutes anywhere in the world. So you could say you were on the front lines at any time, even being in Wyoming.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. The first one that I had was the Educators Award, and I gave it to Principal Justin Waltz of the Pinedale Middle School this year in the previous ceremony. And that was largely due to last year we started a program called Local Legends in the middle school. And we're hoping to continue that program and bring it into the high school this year and Skyline Academy. And we appreciate all of you for being here today. So last year we presented 2 speakers to the Pinedale Middle School, and that's the next 2 awards. Mostly I'm recognizing them today as either one of them is unable to attend, but I wanted to speak briefly on this award. The first award would have went to Mrs., and I'll be hand delivering it to her later. She had a death in the family, so was unable to attend today. She was the first speaker in our Local Legends program. She was a German-born Jew and a Holocaust survivor during World War II. She was on a train with her mother on their way to a German concentration camp when the Allies bombed the railroad bridge in front of the train. The steam engine slammed on the brakes, but had enough momentum that it still fell off of the collapsed bridge. The people realized once the train had stopped that they could flee the train and into the fields. So she was about 4.5, 5 years old when this all happened. And she's a survivor because she got off that train. She later met Richard Brewer, Pinedale, Wyoming, cowboy in this area, and they were married, and she came here. She presently lives just across the street from me. Rosemary Brewer. Rosemary, thank you. The other award goes to Dr. Edwin Vodak. He spoke at the middle school last year as well. Dr. Vodak, he was a pioneer in stem cell research, and he presently lives at the Rendezvous Point as a resident there. One of his patients and personal friends was a fellow by the name of Sonny Fasalis. Sonny was a World War II veteran and was a navigator as part of a bomber crew. His plane was shot down over Italy. He was captured and later escaped across the enemy lines. You can read about it here. This is for the students. There's a book called Aircraft Down, Evading Capture in World War II Europe. But if that wasn't enough, he went back into the service and was shot down again, shot down a second time in World War II. But this time it was over occupied China. The Japanese were in China. So when the plane got shot up, he had to make a decision if he was going to ride the plane down or jump out. 15,000 feet, they didn't have enough parachutes. So without a parachute, from 15,000 feet, in a shot-up aircraft, he jumped out. And he fell into a rice paddy and survived, incredible as it sounds. He was captured by the Japanese forces. They imprisoned him in a mud hut. He knocked a hole in the hut and escaped that night wearing his Chinese Airman down jacket. Taking refuge in the homes of the Chinese people, they began walking him from one community to another and saved his life. He walked over 500 miles across China to get back to his flight squadron. True story, validated. Sonny Fasalis was decorated with the Purple Heart and Air Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters. This was a personal friend of Dr. Edwin Vodak. He was able to share this amazing story with us. And for this reason, he will be receiving one of the awards. Just a note, part of the Local Legends program, Hank Ruland is our next speaker, and he is scheduled to speak at Pinedale Middle School on the 25th of this month. Thank you.
You bet.
You bet. So next we will have a musical selection, Battle Cry of Freedom, which is an old Civil War song performed by the Pinedale High School Band. Well done. Well done. Taps, when a service member dies, and at the gravesite, they play taps. I remember when it was played for my own father. My own father was a vet as well, and they present the flag, the coffin flag, to the usually to the wife or daughter or one of the family, and they play taps. And every time I hear it, it's hard not to get choked up about it, really. So we're going to have taps played and performed by Fatima Mata and Reese Woolwine. After that, we'll have a moment of silence. All right. We will now have the retirement of Cuthers.
Color guard, assemble. Color guard, post the colors. Order or present arms. Color guard, march. Order, arms.
Once again, I thank everyone for being here today and for the use of this auditorium and the support we get from all the schools. And big round of applause for you and for your principal, Brian Briscoe. Couldn't have done it without you. Really appreciate the community and the support we get here. Big round of applause. And this concludes our ceremonies today. We will have a luncheon at the VFW for members all veterans and members of the community following this service here. Thank you.
Go ahead and have a seat really quick. All right, as we celebrate Veterans Day, I just want to give one more round of applause to the veterans that have served our country. We appreciate you. All right, I just need you to bear with me for a few minutes as we review upcoming events. So we're going to do our food drive. That will start tomorrow, and it will go to the Thursday before the week of Thanksgiving. So next Thursday is when it will end. Just kind of reviewing what you're being asked to give. Again, freshmen, you're bringing French fried onions, spaghetti noodles, and spaghetti sauce. Sophomores, you are canned meats. So that's chicken, ham, tuna, hamburger helper, and then canned soup. Juniors, you will be responsible for cereal, syrup, and pie filling. And then seniors, you'll be in charge of flour and sugar. Again, those need to be in 5-pound bags, nothing bigger than that. Cranberry sauce, and then canned fruit. Again, this will be gathered out front, so if you bring it in, you can just drop it off at the front. We'll have bins there for you, labeled by your grade. And as we fill those up, we'll add more to it. The group that has the most items, by the end of by noon on Thursday, we will count them Thursday afternoon. The group that has the most items will win the reward. Again, for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, that would be extended lunch on Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Seniors, you'll get a free homework pass and then an ice cream party. Okay? That homework pass will be designated by me in specific classes. That does not count towards AP Bio or English 1010. So that will come. What's that? Or AP Calc. Sorry, Mrs. Akotnik, can't forget math. That will come in government and econ with Mrs. Robertson or Mr. Fogg. Again, this will start tomorrow and it will go through next Thursday. Again, we're just trying to help out our community members and people that are struggling. All right, I need you to bear with me. Just reviewing the schedule really quick as we get ready to start the rest of our day. It is 11:45. Getting close, except for whoever said that. Okay, lunch will get over at 12:30. Okay, you don't get to leave yet. Then you'll go periods 4 through 7 and finish out the day. If you are going to eat in the cafeteria, you cannot go over there until noon. They have middle schoolers in there right now, so you will have to wait until noon, and then you can go grab your food and come back and eat. That being said, I ask that you be responsible, that you be smart, that you be safe, but you have lunch from now until 11:30. Thank you.